Hello, this is High Recap Channel. Today I want to explain a science fiction movie called Red Planet. Overpopulation and pollution are slowly destroying Earth in the near future. Scientists look to Mars for a new home and send unmanned spacecraft carrying algae that have been bioengineered to grow there. This algae produces an atmosphere that humans can breathe in for 20 years, but one day, suddenly, oxygen levels begin to drop. All nations pooled their resources in order to send the first manned mission to Mars, desperate to understand why. The ship, which is called Mars 1, is too big to launch from the planet's surface, so the crew takes a shuttle to the high-orbit space station for a launch in low gravity to begin their 6-month journey. The best scientists have come together to form this crew: co-pilot Santen, chief scientist Chantilas, pilot and commander Bowman, mechanical systems engineer Gallagher, bioengineer Birchinal, and expert in terraforming Pettengill AMEE, a multi-purpose robot that will serve as their surface navigator on Mars. The crew of HAB-1 find that their vehicle has landed on Mars, but when they try to get out, the airbags explode and the vehicle rolls down a hill. They manage to put out the small fires, but there are major electrical fires. Bowman finds a manual fire extinguisher and straps herself into the emergency evacuation vehicle. She uses the vacuum to put out the fire and then works to restore the primary power supply. Chantilas was hurt when he landed on Mars, so the crew has to help him get out of the vehicle. They can't navigate Mars without the help of AMEE, and the radio is broken, so they can't communicate with Houston. They find HAB-1 destroyed, and since the structures were built to withstand even tornadoes, this cannot have been caused by the weather. They have only 16 minutes of oxygen left. Pettengill tells Santen and Gallagher that he is going to reminisce near a cliff edge and then points out that at least his piloting skills aren't to blame for the fight. As a result, a fight breaks out and Santen falls off the cliff. When Pettengill returns to the other people, he informs them that Santen ended the situation for himself. Their oxygen tanks run out a few minutes later, and Gallagher decides to blow out of his helmet. Gallagher is shocked to learn that he can breathe normally. Pettengill and Birchinal confirm that they can breathe as well, but they cannot explain why, following his lead. In the meantime, Bowman receives a message from Houston informing her that they will assist her in taking off before the ship's orbit fails in 31 hours. Because ignition systems cannot function, Bowman is skeptical. The guys search HAB-1 once more for anything useful and discover a broken radio. This makes Birchinal realize that they should look for the radio on the small rover that Earth sent in 1997. They decide to leave in the morning to avoid freezing because it's 4 kilometers away and night is coming. AMEE is finally able to locate them after they start a fire with the remaining rocket fuel from HB-1. Gallagher examines the robot and discovers that it is quite damaged, but the navigational device still functions. Accordingly, he should turn off AMEE and remove the device before it also breaks. The men are facing a difficult decision. They only have 19 hours to fix the probe or Bowman will have to return to Earth and they won't be able to communicate with her again until later. But they're also struggling with the fact that only 2 of them can return, leaving Pettengill behind. They eventually realize that Pettengill took the radio and left, and they follow his tracks to a cave where they find him dead. The bugs that were inside the suit have now escaped and are attacking Birchinal. When Birchinal finally spots them, he realizes that they are nematodes that have been eating the algae. The nematodes eat the plant and produce oxygen in return, acting like trees, which explains why the plant suddenly started to die out. The men discover more algae as they walk, due to his broken rib. Birchinal begins to drip blood from his mouth, drawing the bugs' attention. The bugs then attack him by eating through his suit. Birchinal throws Gallagher his suit so that he can get more air for the trip, and he also gives him the tube with the bugs so that Earth can study them and make cleaner air. After that, Birchinal uses the torch to drag all of the tiny aliens down with him while he waits for the insects to cover his body. Bowman calls Gallagher to check on him after seeing everything from the ship. Gallagher admits that he is ready to give up after explaining what happened, but Bowman convinces him otherwise by pointing out that the crew's sacrifices cannot be wasted. Gallagher regains his composure and flees until he locates the probe, at which point he immediately begins working under Bowman's direction. The system works, but Gallagher is stuck here because the probe's battery has died. Gallagher tells Bowman that he misses her and should have kissed her, believing this to be the end. Bowman concurs, and she begins getting ready to return while weeping. When Gallagher sees the AMEE drone at that exact moment, he realizes that it has batteries that he could steal. He immediately began using the probe to set a trap, allowing AMEE to get as close as it wanted. Gallagher avoids the robot's attack by releasing a fuel-soaked airbag that catches AMEE and enables him to light it on fire just as the robot is about to go for his heart. When AMEE's self-destruct system kicks in, Gallagher rushes to remove the battery and gets out of the way before the drone crashes into AMEE, causing it to explode. After that, Gallagher completes the repairs to the probe and launches it with him inside to pursue Bowman, who is about to return to Earth. Bowman notices the probe losing power in the middle of the way and uses the spacewalk rope to jump off the ship and retrieve the probe. As a result of the lack of power and oxygen in the probe, Gallagher is unconscious when Bowman opens it. Bowman takes off Gallagher's suit and starts performing CPR until Gallagher wakes up, at which point he asks her to take them home with him. After they looked over the information about the insects, Bowman receives a message from Houston sometime later. It appears that Gallagher is now regarded as a hero by everyone on Earth. According to Gallagher, he has also brought a rock from Mars to give to Shantila's granddaughter as a keepsake. Bowman finally gives Gallagher a kiss, realizing that they only have 6 months to get to know each other better before they reach Earth. Thanks for watching. For more movies, please subscribe and like the channel.